and that they'll put up a much better fight today, as I would hate to see for it to be an easy fight for FaZe, but we'll see where we're going to go. It's not going to be Coastline. It's not going to be Clubhouse.
Not Cafe, not Villa.
Could be
not
Theme Park.
Border, not... you played... Theme Park is out. Okay, Team 1.
Team 1 feeling confident after that victory against Ninja Pajamas. I got to imagine FaZe studied that, though, and were prepared for this. But normally they would not be able to do this in the no-repeat system because I believe that was their last play day. So they technically normally would not be able to do that. But now, since there's a little more freedom, but we'll see if that pays off for teams, right? Is that going to help them in the end, or is it just going to hurt them?
I just want to correct myself. Said FaZe Black Dragons was game number 2, was game number 3 last play day, but it still was that 6-6 tie on Consulate, excuse me. So both Team 1 and FaZe have played this map. You mentioned that just a second ago, but you kind of have something to study off of. But Team 1 beating NIP 7-1 on this map, it's like, well, okay, how do I look into this? Is FaZe just unprepared against Black Dragons, or is it the map, or is it Team 1, or is it NIP? I just don't know how to call this. But what do people think? Yeah, 78% for FaZe Clan. Given the pedigree, this makes a lot of sense, of course. So,
well, we know FaZe can be good at this map. They had a good record again. Both times they played INTZ, they played them on this map and 7-4'd them both times. So we know they're good at least against one team. But are they good against Team 1? That's what we'll find out as we actually get into game fairly quickly, which is nice.
I mean, it's always good. Let's all pray, sit together, sing Kumbaya, and hold hands around the fire and just pray that for the siege gods that we don't.
I'm gonna pray for no Thatcher ban first.
Well, keep on praying, my friend.
All right, we'll see though. We'll see what will we get here. Is obviously Thatcher bans make a lot of sense on this map. They just are unfortunate to see. They're not as big a deal though, really. I mean, you're mostly disabling a few things by banning Thatcher, just making it a little bit harder, making Kaid a little bit stronger. It does benefit some of the gadget meta, though. It does give oNe quite a boost, especially on the top floor defense, because he can set up those discs and you can't just Thatcher them, especially on yellow stairs. So we did see a bit of benefit of the Thatcher ban upstairs as well. And of course, you pretty much always have to fight upstairs. So far, same bans, just in reverse order for the attackers. We'll likely see the same defender bans as well, because they're the simple ones that kind of make sense. Although personally, I don't think leaving Mara in matters that much. It's probably better to ban Maestro, but a lot of people want to use them, so maybe we are just going to see the exact reverse of last bans. And
yeah, it's not really worth it, right? You go for Valk, maybe. Pulse. Ooh, hello.
That definitely is a pretty useful ban, but it tends to have to be a target ban, right? You need to know that they have a good pulse or that they want to run pulse pretty frequently. Obviously, FaZe saw last matchup, and I don't recall what they were playing. If they were playing a pulse, if they were, then definitely that's a good target ban because of how good they did on Consulate last time. We'll see them start on top floor with the oNe and a Kaed. Interestingly, maybe you could see that 6 picked over to a Goyo. Probably be a good idea. Nope, a Doc. All right, well, still 6 pick, but definitely, I mean, it makes it look like Garage. And I always appreciate using 6 picks, especially in first rounds, to make people unsure of which site you're going to be playing.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
There it is. Site 1. We're going to be playing on the top floor. oNe again. No Goyo. Doc's out. Doc's in for Astro, so we're probably going to be running those long angles. The Jaeger and the oNe will be playing something at the top of these yellow stairs. There's bulletproof camera actually being brought up by the Doc, so I really like that double shield there. I mean, are you surprised that there's 2 shields being brought with a bulletproof cam?
No, definitely not. The bulletproof camera is definitely useful as well for just watching all the way down that long desk. I imagine it's going to be set up there, although it's possible Astro actually just set it up in the bathroom. Not entirely sure. It seems like that would be a weird choice because that's pretty able to be shot from the window. So let's see, is there a bulletproof camera there? Might have just been finishing the reinforcement and just look like it. Because that would be, a pretty terrible place to put it. So, yeah, okay, good. Good to know. Thank you for clarifying that. I mean, usually you're going to put it up on the little desk sort of thing right near yellow stairs door. That exact desk right there is usually a good place for it. Nope, you see it to watch the windows instead. Not a bad place as well to be able to peek that. So the player inside of Connector especially can tell whether or not there's someone going to be playing for a peek. So very helpful, and it's unlikely to be taken out, especially if there's any oNe discs there to make it, because they're going to be throwing a lot of utility through that window, so there's likely to be ADSs as well as oNe discs.
Yeah.
Magnets.
Activated track.
Metal pancakes. Official name, by the way. That's what we're calling them now, and I know it annoys some people, which is completely worth it for me. I don't know why. I've been feeling like such a
troll.
Honestly, like, why? But
What's wrong with you?
Why is he being played here? Well, it's to get those discs over. Oh, why my friend too?
I like to think of him as a disc jockey.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. There it is. First magnet's gonna cap one of those Gashimots, and it's all down. You can pressure in as much as you want, but right now it's about getting that entry. And there's a heart breach, but unfortunately it's kind of the wrong one. You'd love to have oNe in this case to pressure the whoever operator is going to be playing inside. Oh, what a shot! Ion playing low. It's like he prepared all of this for the run out, but Fox turns around the right moment, and their gridlock will find the kill.
Nicely done. Good start. 1 and 1 potentially each here. So hopefully our jabs were set up before that. Bav finds Fox. Nicely done. That's the gridlock down as well. That means smoke's down. That would have helped with the plant, but grenades would definitely help take out oNe. That's the oNe down. So it means no more magnets thrown up. Another grenade being thrown here for the shield. That's going to clear connector as well as the shield. So nicely done. Lukid, again, star player of the team.
Doc getting healed up here. And you're really slowing down Team 1 right now. There's 40 seconds left, so there's still some time, but the Valkyrie camera is giving so much information, and you're going to go for the plant. Fall's ready for it. He's planting right behind that bomb chassis. Oh my god. The angles are so close. The nitro cell is going to hit, but it barely does any damage. Yet Mav will find the kill. It's a 2v1, and potential for a retake as Lukid is looking one way. The diffuser is going to be tacked for just a bit, but you need to stick it. You just hold the one angle he can walk from. He's by a long test. Nobody is watching. No. What? No. Why was okay? First of all, why was nobody from FaZe Clan just watching the bulletproof camera in the center?
Yeah.
But then he still gets the kill against the Doc regardless. Good shot from the Buck, but man, that was.
I am just glad Mav stuck that. If he pulled off to go for the gunfight, that would have been frustrating to watch, because that was a smart play. Just let the Doc just burn you time. That's it. That's all the Doc does. He just pre-fire, and so he can't peek you. That's it. That's all you have to do, just long enough for the defuse to get finished and Mav to stick it. So well played. I like the 6th pick of the castle here as well, if that gets used effectively. I like that the Nomad and the Gridlock are being brought, though, so that if they do take control of the map, there's really going to be no rotates. It's going to be focused on just pressuring them on site. And with Lukid, how good he's been on grenades and no oNe this time, I think it should be pretty good to be able to take some of those players out of those positions. Of course, the big difficulty is if someone's playing hard in bathroom, as they generally are, trying to clear that out. If they can clear that out effectively, I think Team 1 have a good chance at this. I mean, they had a good chance last round as well, but just them sticking the counter diffuse definitely worked. So I see one of the castle barricades, the second one going off as well. So they're just really sealing off a flank from the archive side, which we don't see a ton of, honestly. So I don't know if it's even worth bringing castle, but if they're expecting it from this team, if it was something they did last playday, I can kind of understand why you'd want to be prepared for that.
So there's the castle setting up inside of the bathroom. I wonder where he's going to put up the barricades. I mean, do you see where exactly oNe put up his barricades?
You got the 2 on archives, but I don't think he set up the. He set
all of them are out. Where? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to check here. And yeah, maybe there's one that's at the back of the break room. Maybe it's just to really slow down the takes from there.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they're okay. Makes sense. There's one here. There's the other one on your side, and the third one is probably right at the back of the server. So
the upside for attackers is they can and kind of stock up on that on the archive side, or stack up rather, and not be pushed because they've got the 2 castle barricades to defend themselves. But that would work better if you had a Sledge, obviously, to be able to just push in quickly. But they are going to be able to clear out utility and get the garage open very quickly in the first 45 seconds. So nice to see. A lot of players stacked up in cafeteria.
I like this from Skadinia pressuring the lobby, just in case there's a late rotation from FaZe Clan, or really a rotation at any point. But it seems like FaZe are just going to stick to that bathroom and not move away from it, which is a very smart decision. And you can play the gridlock, but if you don't have the top floor controller, at least pressure onto that bathroom, then at any point in time, the defenders can just walk out and play against you. And that's what oNe is probably planning to do with those double impacts that he has in hand. He's got to be careful not to peek out. And oh, there it is. Oh, they're going to try to rush in. The Meister's just holding there. Perfect timing. oNe's going to take a lot of damage as he walks out. And Reduct will find one kill on Alive. iON with the refrag on a low kit as FaZe will find one more on Astro. And it's turning into big advantage here for Team 1 as Skadinia will cancel one more as oNe takes down Skadinia. Falls, shutting down oNe means that iON is last alive, and Team 1 just off of frags, dropping in, realizing, you know what, FaZe Clan are gonna feel super safe with all of those castle barricades. Let's just pop them and go, and it worked so well. You felt that you were safe, but you were not.
Yep, that's the thing, man. Those castle barricades, they especially with I like when teams will prep them in positions where they're unlikely to be punched by attackers, rather just in positions where like they're just gonna block line of sight for guns, and prep those and be ready to run through those quickly. But that's where impact nades are nice as well. And if you're Team 1 and you keep seeing all this castle play, you're gonna be thinking maybe I should be bringing a Sledge at some point just to take advantage of those. But another oNe actually being sick to pick 2 for a garage here, so they'll try that again. Just good attack overall from Team 1 last time. Like I said, take advantage of that back push. So we'll see if FaZe are able to do anything different with this oNe, and at least I'll have an extra shield. Always helpful to have on top of course, having the Jaeger and the oNe in play. It's a rare thing to see the oNe without the Jaeger too. It's just like, it feels like oNe is more of an add-on to Jaeger rather than a straight-up replacement. Partially because, you know, Jaeger is just godlike when it comes to his play, it seems. Although I am interested to see if going 2-2 as an operator makes any difference in that at all. It may or may not. At this level of play, it may not make much. In fact, it may just make Jaeger live longer because he's got more armor. But we'll see how things go down with that. But I still think it's going to continue to be, you know, oNe being more of an add-on to Jaeger in that sense. It's not like Mute Mozzie, because Mute Mozzie you'll see individual Mute or Mozzie all the time. Like, they don't have to be paired together. They're both effective in their own ways, just even more effective synergized. We'll see a good old nades to clear out utility, but oNe disc does a good job, possibly, unless it pulls it right into Electric Claw. No, it doesn't, thankfully. So they've got more cleared out. Last grenade, or first grenade, sorry, from the buck coming out here.
Oh, it didn't hit. Okay. I wonder if FaZe Clan changed the position of their Clyde traps or the Electro Claws. Seems like it. I'm very curious now. I kind of want to see that top down if possible, but it's always tricky to find those good locations for Clyde Electro Claws. But when you do, man, they can be so difficult to deal with. And I think this is what Team 1 realized now, is that they're going to have to go up, take control piano, and manually destroy that Electro Claw. It's such a tough play here. You could put it at the top of the right side and another one on top of the left side. And the only way to destroy it is manually.
And this is definitely a route then where the Thatcher bands really work against them, because if they have to go to push the player inside of a bathroom and they don't have any grenades left, they're definitely in a tough spot to be in. And honestly, they might want to consider bringing the Maverick in the future, because he will also, not only will he ignore the Electric Claws, but he'll also bring extra grenades for you. And that's something they could be getting, you know, as a benefit from. But I do like that they bring the double roam denial, at least rotate denial with the Nomad and the Gridlock, because they get the smokes on top of it. They've got the flashes to help clear some of those ADSs and oNe discs, and then the air jabs and of course tracks to slow down. The timing just was not there for Astro. So close to it as well.
The Nomad just walking up those staircases, and Astro's going to be prepared for this, but iON finds a big kill on a Reduct, and he's still just running around the map of the top floor. Unfortunate, but you found the kill. There it is. Finally, those Electro Claws will be dealt with, as they're just placed in the center. A grenade cannot hit those at the right level, and it was just so much time. Finally, the wall is going to be opened up, and at 45 seconds, the Zofia is still clearing that top floor. It wasn't a coordinated team effort, and the Jaeger of iON is still there. oNe is still trying to pounce this out of the bathroom. Can rotate down whenever is needed. This is great play here from FaZe Clan, just ruining the timing, and they're going to drop. No Claymore to watch, and you're trying to enter. It's not going to work. You have that diffuser down on the floor. The Jaeger is going to stick up and just delay as much as he can, but unfortunately does not walk in and get shot down immediately. A 3v3 now for FaZe Clan with 15 seconds. Yeah, defense definitely should have this in the bag. Astro coming around the corner. You see the push down deep into sight. Astro will find one kill, but he gets shot from behind. But Zofia's already taken control. It's now oNe taking damage from the spike square below him, and he has no nitro, no nothing to throw out. Diffuser should be set right here. There's one kill for oNe. It turns into 1v1 against Fellapox. He knows where the F90, where that Gridlock is playing from. He's trying to tag those feet, and he'll be able to do a lot of damage, but still, so much survivability on this one speed. Just both tagging around the corner, and oNe at the right moment. Fellapox will be dropped and taken away right at the floor, and oNe will find the disable. Great retake from the oNe, and that's a whammy. At the end of the day, round 3 will go to FaZe Clan on the retake.
Ring around the whammy, boy, just the back and forth around White Van. That was, it was a game of cat and mouse. Like whoever basically peaked first lost that. You really needed to peak second, I think. And obviously that's where oNe was able to get the kill. But that actually shouldn't have been that close of a round for Team One. We're losing so much time with their play and trying to fight the player in the bathroom and then just kind of being forced to go for it. And that entire time, the Jaeger rotating up and going for the jump out the way he did, like that should have definitely been much more of a FaZe round. But the kills from Team One as they went for the plant really worked out for them in the end. Obviously, they had some good coverages as well. And I mean, you only lost the one player who wasn't as important from the Jaeger run up, but it was the defuse carrier that did slow things down a little bit. At the end of the day, though, FaZe win it, but some of these rounds are coming down a lot closer. You know, whether FaZe felt confident going into this having watched the VOD or not, Team One are definitely a good team here on Consulate so far. It's been a very close series of rounds. I mean, both times that FaZe have won their rounds, it's off of, diffusing the diffuser that's been planted already and just barely doing so, where it's down to 1v1. So it's just, even when Team One are losing their attacks, they're getting the plant down. So it's really good to see that Team One at least have one map they're really good at.
No, they're really putting pressure, I have to say. And Team One, just like Singularity before them, have not had a great season. Singularity have had way better of a season, that's for sure. But this is kind of Team One getting yeeted and yoinked all through this season, and losing players through it, etc. It's just not something they can easily recover from. But I have to say, they're putting on a pretty good show for the start. We're still just now starting round 4, so who knows where this continues. It definitely showed that FaZe's experience in knowing when to rotate and pressure you at the end of the round helped them in their previous one. And even though they made FaZe Clan, that is, big mistakes on site, and Team One were able to capitalize to drop down and push in from White Fan directly, capitalize on the greedy plays, it was still oNe being able to clutch around for his teammates at oNe. So overall, it's the experience, but man, Team One are really giving FaZe a hard time.
It did show that in the clutches, sometimes those tracks don't actually matter that much. You saw players pushing through the tracks and are not really doing much. Maybe mid-round it tends to matter a little bit more on some of those rotates, but towards clutch moments at the end of the round, it only really helps if you didn't know where that player already was, pretty much. So it's, I don't know. I like that they're bringing that roam denial constantly to stop FaZe from being able to play really flexibly on that roam, but at the same time, it's maybe they need a different operator on this attack because they're getting so close to getting these working, and it's not always happening. But again, they're getting plants down, so I'll give them that. They're going to have to deal with Astro on Dock and oNe on that oNe. So again, focusing on clearing utility, at least they have a lot they can throw. I mean, even if you want to, you can waste some tracks to try and clear things out. I believe if you throw a tracks into a oNe disc, I think it would still deploy to some extent, but I'm not entirely sure on that.
Yeah, I think it just like yeets it away.
Because I know that, for example, a grenade still explodes, right? So
yeah,
it might actually still deploy down. I haven't tested it to be sure.
Yeah, it's not like how an ADS interacts with grenades where it just deletes them. In this case, it just takes that bit of utility and throws it to some other location. So yeah, very true. Even though there's no interaction with the ADS and tracks in that case, but there we are. Some drones have been knocked off of Team 1 early on, and yeah, you were talking about that gridlock in the mid-round. It's really doing work. It's really slowing Ion, rotating back onto site, and Zofia knows this. They're trying to capitalize here, but Mav will find a kill. Look at that close angle. The barricade even still used so well, and unfortunately the grenade there will detonate on another magnet, so lost for free. Unit has none to be used now. He's going to be vulnerable against utility. At least Team 1 have brought that Hibana, but what a shot from Live. A lot of pressure done. He's going to throw out a smoke canister here to support his teammate, and no, falls, dropping down at the wrong moment in the reverse repel. The Doc's going to revive himself, but it just wastes time, and Falapox is going to need to still watch the Doc as he's dropping down into connector. And yeah, there it is. Spotted, done and dusted, yeeted out of the building. Well done, FaZe Clan on top floor defense.
Live especially, man, winning 2 of those window fights. You see him get the one on console window and then come around to get the one on connector window. You also had Wamai get the one on the balcony window. All those window fights, the fact that all these reverse repels were being played by Team 1 and all 3 of them were lost, that's what cost them the round. They weren't even losing necessarily as many fights in the building as they lost repelling on it, because 3 players died from 3 different windows around the bomb site. That's definitely not the situation you want to be in, and that will absolutely cost you the round. Like, had they won those gunfights from the window, especially had they killed Live, that would have been such a different round for them. They will actually finally bring that Sledge. Good to adapt now as well for teams that are going to be worried about losing the grenade. More teams are probably going to be running Sledge in the future, because at the end of the day, I think grenades are a little more valuable than being able to play from below, because you very often see Bucks even hitting their grenades from below, you know, cooking them and throwing them at the roof. So I think we are going to see more Sledge play in the future, especially with how strong both the LA85 and the SMG11 are compared to just having the C8 and I guess sort of a shotgun, I suppose. So, I don't know. Definitely going to see more of it in the future. I don't know if it'll make as much difference here. I don't think he's going to be sledging down shields or a lot of soft walls necessarily. But hey, you know, if you might get more use out of it here, definitely worth a try, especially with how a lot of these close range gunfights have been. The SMG11 could be pretty strong there.
A good point.
We'll see a similar top floor defense in terms of meeting that we saw previously with the Wamayan shields.
Again, before you can use any of that soft destruction, be it Buck, Sledge, whatever it is, you still need to take control of that top floor. And, you know, the alternative we saw in a game before is that you can just kind of swarm in and go for a quick plant early in the round, right at the door, but in this case, it's going to be very slow and methodical, and Team 1 might actually start to take here from the backside in the Vista office. They know there's a barricade, and actually is something that kind of allows you to breathe for a second as an attacker, because you know that you're safe from one angle, at least for a minute. Now, Astro is going to be able to catch one drone, which is usually the average for that Mossy. I would love to get actual in-game statistics for it, but from what I've seen so far, Mossy is able to catch like 1 drone per round, which is usually pretty darn good. Even if you're not going to use it until the end of it, it's still information that is so dire and important for the defense that every slight bit of it is still pretty free. And there it is. There's the rush in from the back. We were just talking about it, and this is the play to bring the Sledge. Reduct is already going to find one. Falapox is going to implant behind the spiral. Nitro Cell is out. It will sail, and it will barely cause a dent. Reduct finds Yuna as he's on site, but is unable to find any kills. Valko will run out, but there's 2 people, one on rappel and one right behind the doorway. And you can stay detected all around. It's not going to matter. They just won't push you. Astro will find 1 kill, but how important will that be? You have a Nitro Cell. You know there's a player right outside of this window here. Nitro's out, misses. Zofia takes no damage, and there's the shot. Luke actually will be the one as he immediately walks up that top stair. And at yellow, he's got a long angle to watch. There it is. Good headshot, good reactions. Team 1, man, they find the opening and they just go for it.
Yeah, it's the second time today we've seen a successful plant there inside the lobby itself. At the doorway. It's so hard to retake that if you can pull it off, and it's not really that hard to pull it off as well, especially when you've got consistent smoke play coming out here. It's just teams are really struggling to watch it, and they're bringing a lot more delay and things like that to hold the top floor than they are bringing utility to watch that middle floor. We're going to see a switch over to another smoke operator from Falapox, the Jackal. So either way, it's roam denial and smoke being brought. So, you know, it's kind of a, like you call it, a side grade. Different choice here to be able to cut down some more of those roamers. A little more proactive, really, in terms of dealing with roamers. So honestly, I like the switch up. I think it might be more effective than bringing the gridlock, but we'll see. We'll see garage defense, which so far have been hit and miss. You know, you've got one success from Team 1 and then one failure as well. So I think they definitely could pull it off, though, with how they've been able to attack so far. I definitely see a strong chance of this going 3-3, just because Team 1 have been very good on these attacks, very good at finding the openings, like you said, very good at working as a team and winning gunfights, playing advantageous angles or getting trades. Obviously, things, you know, this will be the last attack round for them, so things will switch after this. But I think there's a strong possibility we see Team 1 pick up another one.
What I'm really concerned with is, because you mentioned Nomad and the Jackal, I really want to see how FaZe Clan actually play this, because they should have information on what operators have spawned in. And of course, you see that in the pre-phase and the reveal phase right before 6th pick. So only one player can be subbed out, one operator can be subbed out, excuse me. So you kind of know what you're up against, and you can change your strategies during that position. Do you just go and play on hard points at a bathroom, as we've seen before by oNe, for example, on oNe? Or do you just force yourself to roam regardless? And I think the wiser decision in this case is just sit back and be a bit more, you know, static. You can still walk one player up and down positions, and I actually love the way that it has been set up here by FaZe Clan. Unfortunately, oNe swings way too wide, and you need the kill back. There's so much damage done to Ion, and he only down reduct. He's forced away, and he knows that he can't take another gunfight, unfortunately, but only getting the down is not the trade you were looking for, and I really have to put it here as an advantage for Team 1.
Yeah, definitely, especially if they can get reduct up. I mean, obviously, he acts a little bit as bait, but no one's really contesting it. Skadini's there to cover the angle, make sure no one rotates on them. Felipox, in the meantime, is going to be going around looking for footprints still, potentially. Although he's got it. There we go. You got to put the visor on to be able to do that. But, yeah, there we go. They're going to catch some. Just going to be someone downstairs, just the Jaeger. But now they know that Jaeger's not on the roam, and that just speeds things up here. So they still have a minute 30 left to work with halfway through. Just making sure they've cleared everything successfully. This top-down control, you know, checking all the boxes, but they were slowed down a little bit and having to pick up reduct. So a slight time advantage, but losing a player on FaZe, I think it's advantage to attack.
Definitely so, and yeah, Ion is still tagged so low. It's just advantages all around for the attackers, but what they still have not figured out is how to deal with that wall to enter in. You have the thermite and everything, but you still need to deal with the utility blocking you. And yeah, you're doing work to try and find the right utility. Well, try to find the right positions where the utility supply is being set as electrical claw, but unless you take him out, it's still going to be very difficult to walk in. And that's what the Bucks trying to do now at 43 seconds. It's still a decent chunk of time, but you need to move really fast. And usually if you find 2 picks, it'll make it way easier, but right now with only 1, it still somehow gives that potential advantage for FaZe Clan just because of the inherent advantage as defense. Unfortunately, some team and self-damage is not going to help. Another grenade will be tossed down into pipes, but there's nobody there. It's already been confirmed. There's drones everywhere on the site, but they can't find anybody. And the Mira windows are giving information for FaZe Clan. That's also something we need to worry about. Falls will get 1, and there's rotation coming in from Banana to pressure the defenders, and it's kills all around for Team 1 as it actually ends up in a flawless defense. Shields everywhere, but they have 0 help for you as a defender when you're not set in the right position. And the grenades from the Buck, even though one of them did some self-damage, they were great at isolating. These are, you know, sometimes we call them like isolation nitros or grenades or whatever, just because, or impacts if you want, if someone has impact still in the back pocket a late round, because it throws up dust in the air. It kind of doesn't give you a clear image, covers your footsteps as a defender when you're trying to retake. So it's there, but still, in this case, it worked so well for the Buck. It saved the round for them. Probably just getting the right opener in the Mira window was, in the end, useless, I want to say. I don't know if it was set right behind the van or right on the side of it, but it definitely didn't cover anything or give you any info. And you definitely didn't have the right utility to fight the plan.
Well, I think that nade actually was to take out the shield as well. So even though, yeah, it didn't necessarily kill anyone, it made so they couldn't play there anymore for the retake. And as you pointed out, they were droning and not necessarily finding anyone, but that also means they knew where there was clear. And they took advantage of that to be able to take control of the site very quickly, because it limited where players were going to be left at. and I think they were able to capitalize off that information. And that's the thing is, Team 1 on attack are very well coordinated on that. The droning was very good to make sure that they cleared everything as quickly as they could to actually push with some of the limited time left. And at the end of the day, like I definitely think this is a great map for Team 1, even if they just completely lose from here. After their victory against NIP and their attack rounds we've seen from them so far, I definitely think this is a great map for them. We'll see how they do on defense, though. So we got oNe, the king of planting here, in play, of course, with the Thermite, and has got Diffuse in pocket. So there's a good chance we will see some more plants. But they're playing the delay game here. They've got the Goya with the Jaeger Wamai, and of course the smoke. And then the Mute Jammers will help a little bit behind some of those shields, as well as you see Reduct just put one there, top of the Visa stairs, to make sure that they can't drone in effectively and have some idea where to attack from. So the more you can do that, the more you can delay them. It also... denying the drones has a double effect because they also can't drone to see where those Wamai discs are, and often will have to be forced to burn extra utility because they're not bringing a IQ to be able to spot those discs either. So they're forced to manually look for those, and with the Mute Jammers stopping them from driving into those doorways, it actually increases sometimes the delay you get by those shields and Wamai discs.
So this is all part of this delay tactic, and you're going to need to chuck so much utility to deal with both the Wamai and the Jaeger. And we talked about it, I think, in the game before, that is the question is, or it was EU, I don't remember still, but the whole question is, do you put Wamai and Jaeger with all of their utility in one position, or do you spread them out? And how do you spread them out? Do you have Wamai on one side, Jaeger on the other, or is it kind of a 50-50? It's that big decision that a lot of teams need to make, and it just depends on what you're expecting for your opponents. And there's the utility that everything has just been used up to deal with these ADSs and the Wamai discs, the magnets, but at least you still have impacts to deal with shields, and that's the next step in this assault. As Live will find one, trading off Ion. The Wamai's trying to do some work there with the AUG, a bit of a longer distance, but it's all to delayed. You're just sitting right behind a shield with a smoke, and there's so many shields, Devin.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I like this angle from the bathroom, though, that we see Live using. He was able to trade one of the kills, I believe, and then, Wamai just still pulling things in, but they know they need to clear him out, and the longer they can hold an angle on that, the less effective he's going to be.
Oh.
Just stop. Oh, that is unfortunate, grenade pull. At least he doesn't take damage from it.
It must be really frustrating dealing with all of this, because it 100% is. Then you have Mute as well that's blocking you from using your Skyros, and you're just waiting for people to dive out. This is how frustrating it can get, and smokes will be thrown out at pretty much the right time here for the defense. A bit of damage done to Luke as he rotates back onto site, and Team 1 realized that, hey, if we can just hold on to this, it can, you know, we rotate the players, put them in a good position, it can be done. Astra, though, will find 2 kills. The big entry here for FaZe Clan, as turning around the corner, it's Felpox to win a gunfight, but Live on the refrag. A 3v1 as Astra will net that diffuser. Luca is taking a lot of damage, but the Zofia is out, and she's going up for repel. Reverse repel probably expected here, as you know that the diffuser is planted in CEO, or, well, in console chamber. You're checking the bathroom, you're expecting somebody there, you know that there's a hole open, but there's so many positions for you to watch, and the Zofia, no one's gonna take that Zofia to 1v1. There's the drone, it's gonna confirm the position, you're gonna go for the diffuser. The moment you stick it, you're shot in the foot, and you're down. FaZe Clan. Get it done.
Like I said, you got oNe in play with the diffuser. It's going to get planted pretty predictably. But at the end of the day, I think Team 1 maybe took a little too many fights there on the push. They really needed to be in tighter angles, better positions to be able to fight against the pushing attackers, because attackers were able to bait out a lot of the players of Team 1 into the angles that they were playing. They were playing a lot of, like, let's just hold them in positions, get angles, push them out. Team 1 just took too many fights. I mean, maybe they were forced into some of them because we couldn't see every angle at once there, but at the end of the day, yeah, not great. It was good that at least they were able to get the kill on the Nomad early, but at the same time, trading a C4 for an operator who probably had already deployed all of the air jabs maybe wasn't the best, just because of how late that was. It was a good attempt, though, and I do imagine there's a possibility we see Team 1 win a defense on console next time they go to it, but yeah, you really got to stop those plans. You know, with oNe on the team, FaZe is going to be playing for objective. You really just need to play tight on that objective in a way that you force them to come to you or burn time. Because that was, the time burning strategy, obviously, with the operators they were bringing. And the longer Wamai sits there alive, the longer you can burn. You saw even some of those late grenade pulls from the Wamai disc on the window. They're going to be bringing a slightly different delay operator this time with the Legion, because of course this is going to be for Garage. Legion, maybe not a bad choice when you know Yuna's going to go for plants. It's you know, one of those things that doesn't affect all the time, but the fact that you could stop a plant with it against a team you know is going to push for plants, not a bad idea. Legion not as effective as it used to be. Overall, still strong gun, that was unchanged, but you're mostly going to get slightly different uses out of those goo mines. But hey, much like him and Wamai, you know, the longer you're able to survive, the more you're going to be able to do with that. So as long as he doesn't overplay that, I think late round, especially with how time gets burned on these attacks, could be useful for stopping that plant.
I like this rotation for the Valkyrie to kind of just, you know, sit back and wait with the camera until somebody peeks through a Visa, and it can net you a free kill. And just, you know, if you fall back, you have the rotation, you have the Jaeger that can support you. So I actually quite like this from Team One. They're definitely putting up some inventive positions and really putting in the gadgetry that helps you achieve that sort of success. So there's the Havana running the X-Kairos. You open one hatch, you open one angle down through top of the service stairs.
Oh,
Fellapox, there it is. That's what we're talking about, man. You take a bit of damage, you find Ion. It's a free kill in Visa. That's so well read.
Well, good start for Team One, as it looks like now FaZe are going to be a little bit delayed. Less of those air jabs will be up, so it's really a struggle for Ion both his attack rounds, since he was the first to go for FaZe both times. But they've got a lot of control they need to still get here. They got top floor control now for the most part, whether they know it or not. It's that middle floor, though. As you talked about, there's a lot of rotation set up, things like that. Yep. It's not going to be easy for them to just take from here, because they've still got to get all the way down to Garage. Now, I imagine Yuna's going to be working on getting that open if he hasn't already. But it's not going to be easy. They've got to deal with the Kite Electric Claws, and they might not have been able to clear those effectively, especially if they were out of grenade range. So Yuna, yeah, he has not opened anything yet, as he's still got both thermite charges in pocket. So now that they've got at least piano control, they can start to pressure, but about a minute left once they go for their attack, and they are one man short, despite the damage on Falls and Fellapox. This is in favor of Team One right now, especially with C4s, possibly 3 of them still left in pockets.
So there's Map putting pressure from the top floor as walls are being opened up, and you can pressure from above, as you saw this before from Map. Still a bit of ammo left on the C8 here. It's going to give you a rotation or an angle really down through the bathroom. Yeah, there it is. Did he find? No, he did not. So there's no way to delete that entire wall, even with Yuna running the thermite. But you're gonna go and plant behind the black car, and that was just not worth it. That long angle being played by Astro. Mav finds Katina in the meantime, and there's one more from Yuna. He does it. Fallbox will down Mav, so your flank is now dead, but your diffuser is set, and no, straggling still inside of the site. Team One should know what's up here. They know there's one player just sitting at the back, the front of courtyard. It's out of yellow. Go for the diffuser. There's one kill. Turning around the corner. Delay. The flashbang hits the face, and unfortunately, that was a big mistake. Luca will be the one to handle that diffuser and make sure Team One go very calmly into round 8. That was, I have to say, even with the lost player, Team One just kept their cool the whole time. That was very impressive.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised the plant got down, but again, yeah, like I said, Yuna will get the plants down. He is definitely a top planter, like worldwide. He knows his job, and FaZe is there to enable it. The problem is, of course, they lost too many people getting that done. But hey, you know, at least they play objective. I think that's the way to play. It's just you need to not lose people earlier. You need to be picking off the roamers instead of just pushing them back to site. But the fact that you're pushing them all back to site and still get a plant down is good. And they had okay time management. The fact they're able to clear the top floors at least as swiftly as they were. They just needed some more picks out of it. They really needed to not lose Ion and instead, or at least trade him to make it so that they were able to get a little bit more manpower on the attack. Because, of course, as I said again, when someone's planting, they're not on a gun. That means you're effectively down 2 people then if you're planting and you had Ion dead as well. So it's just, it's rough. But at the end of the day, I would consider banning this map against Team One in the future. You know, it's just definitely a map they just know better. They play it, like you said, a lot more calm and cool. They seem to know what they want to do on this map better. Just a lot better control of how they play it, the flow, things like that. Especially against such a strong team like FaZe. We will see a change up, though. They're going to bring the Dokkaebi. So something a little bit different here for this attack. This is, again, going to be on the console. Like I said, though, they lost this last time, and I anticipate a possible chance of winning it the next time around. So we'll see how they deal with that. There will be the Hibana to open up the walls, likely, that Reduct is putting up right now. Phone calls themselves may not make that much of a difference, but I understand they probably want to clear the map and just force everyone into positions that they can start nading out.
I think this is a response to the Valkyrie position in the last round. You know, you just had her in the Visa office, and you know she popped up and got a kill. Obviously, the kill or the kill, excuse me, the call from the Ducati serves two purposes: to get the information, but also to get people off of their cameras. So, if you time it right, it can definitely save you. But it's obviously way better to just drone those positions and make sure that you have the info on it, even though you're losing a drone out of it. Dokkaebi basically is giving you the equivalent of 2 free temporary drones. Even without the perfect positioning, visually, you still can hear very clearly where the players are.
Yeah, that's the big thing, of course, is making sure you hear them on the drones, if nothing else. Especially drones that can be placed in positions where they're not seen, but can still hear. Very important. But yeah, it all comes down to speed to some extent, right? You want to clear floors faster, especially if you've got a Nomad. You want to get those air jabs up sooner or later, especially with how early Ion's been dying. You really want to clear and get those up and make sure that also that you can put them around the positions that people are setting up on shields. Like you can put them on the other side of a shield, and if someone tries to go past that shield, in some way, oh no, that's why you don't do that.
Why would you do that?
Ion, was he just anxious to be the first to die that round?
And why did you do that also? Why are you rotating? There's one player outside of the bathroom. Why? It's like, Ion, okay, you know what? I got Ion, and it really hurts. We don't want FaZe to kind of lose the round off of a mistake like that. So I'm just going to get myself killed. Here's
what you need to do. Put Ion on Lion. First off, he's got 3 of the letters of the name already. So all you do is add an L to him, which he's already adding to himself. Second off, he can play a global op and stay in spawn for half the round.
Oh my god, there it is.
Live, though. He's been playing very well. He was a good pickup for this team, I think.
That was actually very well said. Honestly, Devin. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why do you just keep peeking yourself to the one guy that has the angles on you? This is just...
In that case, it was through a softwall as well, I think.
Not even, no. It was all there. He saw his head. He saw it for a solid 2 seconds. Same thing for the Wamai behind him. Like, oh my god, those are just huge mistakes. The Jaeger is gonna come out. He'll find 1 kill on Mav. And is there a refrag? No, not yet. The Hibana is the one doing all the work right outside the bathroom. And the Zofia is on site. You go for the plant. Live's gonna get a quad kill. He's looking for the ace here. Lukid is back up on a rotation. He's gonna come in through lobby. And there's the pre-fire. Live with the ace. Team 1 presenting every single kill on a silver platter. You could not have done this any easier way. Telegraphed from start to finish. And man, that's
what you want to see when you pick up a new player, right? He's the newest player of the team. You pick him up and he gets an ace. Like, obviously they didn't literally pick him up today and he gets an ace, but I just mean, like, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see it relying on him, but you want to see him show up when the chips are down. Like, he is just, and that's on Hibana. I mean, like, what is this, Shaiko here? Like, there's not that many players that just go frag out on Hibana, and definitely Live has been very successful at doing that so far. We'll see Archive Tellers, though, as a switch up, and Team 1, maybe console won't work after all. Maybe they're going to have to play some lobby play as well, because they have yet to go there, but Archives Tellers is going to require some of that middle floor control. I gotta say, maybe the Dokkaebi worked out a little better that round, but again, Ion, do something more than just face checking. That was definitely a terrible play last time. Like, you could have droned that at the very least.
Like, there's no way that you should ever just vault into yellow unless it's to completely clear. Like, did he just click the button by mistake? I mean, maybe. That's the only thing I can kind of bring out of this. I don't know, man. Anyways, that's it. Now it's the setup, and as you can tell, Team 1 are putting a lot of pressure from below in that server area. They have 1, 2, 3 nitro cells that they can play, and 2 operators with impact grenades, all about opening angles and lines of sight. And this is why all of this destruction is out. You have 2 shotguns that you can use. This is the way to play it. Also, don't underestimate the soft destruction potential of the Deagle. It can open up some very important holes for you. Maybe not a full rotation hole, but some angles that be pretty necessary.
Well, droning now coming out, try and clear as much as they can. This is always a tricky bomb site to attack, of course, because you've got to decide how you want to clear it and whether you want to take top or bottom, or middle or bottom rather, in terms of your actual push. clear out the C4 players, identify whether or not there's a pulse, things like that. Especially find those black eyes like they're doing right now. Good timing on that, right as I was about to point that out. Because you want to make sure that they don't have the intel for those C4s, because they're going to be playing a lot of bottom up. So the less intel they have, the better. Oh, you don't walk. Ion, you just... Did the man actually fall down some stairs earlier today before he started playing? He's just having such a rough day, walking into his teammate, skeleton king the floor. Gets shot in the foot. Totally preventable things here.
Honestly. It's just these small mistakes, man. They really tend to add up. But there it is. Live's gonna get out, and the trigger has Skyros, maybe? Yeah, there should be the opening there, the hatch. Mute jammer blocking you for just a moment, but you're able to spot and get the information that you need. There's no barricade in the middle there, so this might be the moment, especially with that Skyros being set there, to just push into server if there's no mute jammer below you, and it seems like there is. Mav just desperately trying to pre-fire down the wall or down the floorboard, and is not going to find anyone.
Definitely the possibility that they go for some kind of drop as they're opening the hatch at least, but you also want to do that just for pressure purposes. See if they can manage to catch anyone else here. I mean, just a little bit of damage on Skadinia. Otherwise, though, Team 1 looking good, especially now the Reduct finished off the player who wasn't going to be much longer for living anyways, just because, well, he's the first sacrificial lamb for FaZe every round. And he's there to just tell you where one player is.
He's there. Okay, thanks. Might as well play the Lion, as you said. Like,
maybe they need someone to watch drones, and he's just making sure he's there and available every time.
Man, Emzo, I really hope that they clipped your description in that last round of you know, the Lion. But man, Falls will find one kill live on the refrag on a Skadinia. And just trying to burn utility, but man, you don't have any top floor control. That spiral staircase, you could just keep on firing. Reduct is gonna get 3K, and Yuna carrying that diffuser is gonna go in for a gunfight. Falls is ready for him, and man, demolished again. Team 1 in control around.
Great job by Reduct, especially great round from him overall. But man, it just seemed like FaZe didn't really know how they wanted to attack that. They stacked up in Visa and just started to prepare from there, but then didn't really know how to clear out the players of Team 1. And because they weren't clearing them out, they just continued to push on them, especially Reduct. How often do we see teams lose a push on a Visa because of someone coming from the bottom, or I guess technically the middle of Spiral? It's just so often. That hallway especially right there is just such a push. I mean, we saw obviously like when Nesk looked away from it in the previous match. It very often happens. We've seen it in NA as well. Just, you have to guard that spot right there. You have to clear. You have to have like either the top floor clear and seal off the top of Spiral, or at least seal off the middle, you know, both sides of it. Just tough spot to fight. But they'll be forced to switch bomb sites now, so they'll be back down to Garage, the site that they previously won. So as long as they don't have to go back to console again, right? They have yet to play lobby though, which is interesting because lobby is definitely defendable. But we have seen a lot of sneaky plants in the you know, in the actual lobby doorway today. So I can understand why you might not want to play it.
Honestly, FaZe Clan might need to take control of that piano area yet again. They have all the utility for it, but you can't end up losing it as you did before. You know, in a 3v1, you get one player, but unfortunately, it's just FaZe today. I don't know what's up with them. It was same thing the last play day. They just kind of forget when they can actually just walk out of the site and play long angles, which always is an advantage for the attackers because obviously they're the ones with the ACOG and the rifles. So they messed it up a couple of rounds ago with just leaving 2 players deep into sight and not even actually having control of it. Big mistake. But Live's gonna come in close to finding a kill there, but there's utility that's been set for the defenders to just hold on to the top service stairs for as long as they humanly can. It's just delaying and burning time, and it's a very wise strategy. And Jaeger's also going to be spotted clipping halfway through the wall. That's how you know that it's very much legit. He's going to be moving out. You know he's around the corner. There's one kill. There it is. Live will find the head of Reduct. And it's a good hit. 12 kills for Live so far in this matchup. And a mute jammer is just not allowing you to place your thermite charge. Walking right into the mute jammer as well. A big mistake there. ADS is burning your utility. And the stun is too far back. You open up your default angle here, but there it is. Everything's being destroyed. you know that there's no player around you, you're getting the information of it, and FaZe Clan will try to capitalize on top of that early kick.
Well, big thing is there was a lot of gadgetry dedicated to that top floor. Yeah, they didn't get more than one pick out of it, but they got the pick and cleared a ton of utility with a decent amount of time left. They have half the round left. So overall, this is a really good round. And iON's still alive somehow. So already FaZe doing good work. And obviously, it's important to win this round because that guarantees the 1 point minimum. And we know that FaZe might need that. You know, we see them fighting for those top positions. It does make a difference in money. They're not a team that's just trying to stay out of that sort of 7th, 8th spot. They really need that the extra points. Whereas Team One, doesn't matter for them.
Definitely. I mean, Team One are just trying to take points away from FaZe Clan. It's the clout at this point, and it definitely is a big deal. There's no way for Team One to fight their way up to the top 2 positions. Even, you know, the teams that are in position 5 and 6 are pretty much gone out of it. I mean, we saw already Singularity. They lost that potential. And FaZe just want every single point. It's so important to be in those top 2. oNe will get a kill. He's not the first one to be taken away in this round.
Wow.
Which usually means that it can go very well. There's another one for oNe. He's redeeming himself. But will it be enough? He's one in banana. He'll flick around and oNe hits a 3rd kill. Flawless from FaZe Clan. Man, look at the flick of the wrist.
oNe. That's what happens when oNe gets kills.
Man.
And don't get me wrong, I'm only giving oNe crap because normally he's a great player. Like, he actually is a really good player. It was just surprising to see him really just struggling early on. But let's hope for his sake that, well, I mean, maybe just for one more round's sake, that was the change that he needed. Whatever he did differently, he was definitely playing a lot better that time. Obviously, was it 3 or 4 for him? Much better, and that really helps things out. Also, again, though, they just did good time management, effective teamwork to clear that top floor, getting the kill on the Jaeger as well, definitely benefiting them quite a bit. That was the kind of round they needed. Console, though, they're going to go back to it. This is the bomb site they have yet to be able to win. Yet they're going to I don't know, man. I think they might as well just go garage one more time because they've been able to win there at least. So this is looking like we'll probably see a 7-5, but there's a possibility Team One can bring this back here. They just need to continue to shut down oNe early. That seems to be the important part. Especially if they can kill live. If you kill oNe early, that's not as big a deal as killing live early, really. He's been definitely a strong player for the team.
So
we'll be going
here
that again.
Yeah, I mean,
the usual.
Look at all these shields. You got Goyo, you got oNe. We've seen it in other regions, actually, where both of these operators get banned. We even saw it in G2 Navi game, where both Goyo and oNe were taken out of play. And in the interview, Doki was very clear in saying it's just really not fun playing against, you know, this combination. And it seems like G2 was echoing that sort of idea in their ban themselves. So it's very frustrating, and for people that really don't understand how frustrating it is, you're seeing it right in front of you many times, where it really helps you as a team that maybe is on the back foot, but man, does it really hit you mentally when you're trying to deal with all of it.
Yeah, I imagine we definitely might see more Goyo or oNe bans in the future. I think teams are really struggling to deal with it. Maybe it'll just be the oNe, or because a lot of teams want to play Goyo, but and with Goyo getting nerfed in the future, I have a feeling it'll probably shift over to oNe. So like, because Goyo won't be as big of a problem. It's more just your inability to nade those shields that'll become the ultimate problem. So I do think we could see a shift towards that as after that mid-season patch thing comes out. I guess it's not really a mid-season patch anymore, but middle of the DLC season.
Oh. More drones being set outside just in case of runouts. Oh. Okay. Did you see that? That was a very interesting way of running the drone. I'm not sure there's a spec bug there, but there it is. Grenade being thrown into the cubby inside of we'll still call it CEO, but inside of the console chamber, and not gonna find anybody there. Team One pretty much is sitting pretty behind their shields, and you're just hoping that, yeah, there it is. There's a electro claw just being set that the Habana can't open the same angles as before. This is the adaptation. It's very good, and Team One definitely, like, if you do this in the last round that this site was played, then definitely big potential for Team One to win it regardless. But there's smokes going out for the gunfight and won't find anybody, going right back behind that Goyo shield. Just trying to burn time. FaZe might be looking at a quick B site plant.
I like that they were watching the drone as well to check where my discs were actually being placed, as well as where the electric claw was here on the bathroom, to know whether or not they could clear it. So I think it's just smart use of the drones there to get position information. They are running a little low on time, but a minute left is fine. If Falls could stop killing all the attackers coming in, that's Live and Ion dead. So remember what I said. If you take down Ion and Live, it's around for Team 1, and it's certainly looking that way with Philippox fighting a third. Team 1 looking to really hurt FaZe with a tie out of this.
The shields are such a big mental drain. All of the angles have been opened up. Foz will get one, and Reduct for the last. Flawless from Team 1 on the top 4 defense. I want to put it all on the shields and that combination of Wamai and Jaeger, and I think you'll find that I was very right in that prediction. It's a draw.
Like you said, the adaptation on the bathroom wall definitely helped things a little bit, getting the extra little bit of stopping Live